Today is actually the day I just uploaded the F100 video with the engine and the radiator. So I'm actually working on it sooner than I thought, being the next day. But decided, my shop, I'm like, it's just so cluttered. I got parts everywhere and too many projects. Well, I figured if I finish some projects, or at least install all the parts, I'll have more room in the shop. So right now I'm going to install the truck's glass. So the back glass and front glass, I'll turn the camera around real quick. So the back glass and rear glass is the only stuff not really installed. All that glass is installed. The only reason this side is not is because I lost this piece of felt that goes in here. So I haven't done that. But one thing after another, we're gonna get the back glass in back here, and then the front glass. And I'll probably roll these windows up except for this gaping hole right here, and then put the car cover back on it, because this truck was under a cover like this, but right now it's at my brother's house. He was supposed to buy me one because I lent him it, but that was like a year ago and I never got one. So more stuff. Glass, we're gonna do the glass in this and then gather its parts, and all the Mustang parts, I'm gonna take them out of the bed of this and put them in the sausage pony out there. Its trunk and back seats are just full of parts from this car and the other donor car, and now it's about to be full of even more parts. Maybe I'll put that axle on its trunk or something, I don't know. So I put the gasket back on, the seal, and normally I always do this windshield and body sealant where the glass meets it and then where the gasket will meet the metal, but I just don't have enough. I've only got that much left. So I'm just gonna not put it on at all, because it'd be easier to take this out without any of it on and then to reapply it. Because I had already installed this and then taken it out, but I want it out of the floor because it's sitting in a pile of them, of glass over there, and I kicked one the other day and thank God it didn't break. But I'm just gonna install it like this. That way it's in the vehicle, it's safe. It might be totally fine without any sealant. The truck sits indoors anyway, but we're just gonna get it there. So here we go. Woo! I installed the string. So I don't know if I recorded this last time. You want to put string in this gap here so that when you get it in the car, you put a little bit of pressure on the back side, which is the outside of the car, and you pull your string and it'll flip this lip around the metal edge, and that you'll have to do that the whole way, and it'll pull this lip onto the inside of the car, and that's what'll hold your glass in place. Is it'll sandwich the metal of the car in between these gaskets. So I think I can do this one alone. Lauren's inside with the baby, so This one I don't have to worry about it falling out as much since it's leaning towards the car. So I'm gonna put this baby in place and attempt it. I got all the body bolts out of this thing. Toast. But yeah, I took all the bolts out and put them, let's see, put them back here. But I'm gonna move the Lightning that's sitting right there and then push this car out there, probably where that truck is, kind of angled like that, and then load it up on my trailer. And the same like heavy duty off-road forklift that you saw load the Mustangs onto the trailer way back when we got them, we're gonna put it through here, like through these windows, and just lift the body up at the junkyard and just junk the body, take the frame back here. I hear trash. People, you can see this road. When I first bought this property, this entire stretch here, people just throw their trash out their windows. And I cleaned up all these bottles and cans and stuff, and people still throw trash out. So like, I just heard a can roll under my truck from someone. Yep, last of the Vic. All right, we're about to steal this transmission. The transmission right there. It's a 4R75W. And we're gonna take this and put it in the F100. So we're just gonna disconnect the drive shaft. It is stamped police on it too, on the other side. And then I brought some tools, just gonna unbolt it all, pull it out. Well, it wasn't all that hard. It was definitely harder than it should have been. And at the end there, I didn't realize it was just stuck on that little lip. So I was prying for like 2 minutes, but all I had to do was lift it up. Well, I lifted it up and it dumped fluid all on my boot. Soaked it up really good, my pant leg too, but caught most of it in there. I just gotta clean up this residual that spilled on my boot. So I'm gonna get cat litter, oil dry, dispose of it all properly. But you can't tell, but it was like brown black. It looked like it looked like used engine oil. But there it is. Now I gotta dolly it to the back. I went back and got the torque converter and unbolted it, put it in the shop, and I put a paint can lid over it so nothing gets in it. But I'm just gonna use this wire brush, and I brought some brake clean with here, and that can's about empty. I'm just gonna try to clean it up a little bit at least, stick it under there. Later in life, I'd like to have this rebuilt and then reinstall it, but for now we're just gonna get it together in the truck. That way the F100 has yet another part, and we're gonna fully install it, as in actually put the torque converter on or in, and then bolt it so that the transmission is actually ready to go in the car, not just like flopping around in there. So that way, because this did work, so if we put a Holley EFI on it, I could just run it like this, because this worked. Hopefully the fire doesn't look like it actually damaged it. Nothing's melted on the trans at all. So yeah, we're just gonna clean it up, stick it in there. Worst case, it's all there. Like I said, I just repeated myself twice. All right, I'm gonna stop talking and get to work. Like new. Not really, but it's a lot better than it was. So now that that's cleaned up, we're gonna just stick it in. It actually, I know on camera, I mean, it looks dirty, but this car actually was in amazing shape. And the fact that this was mainly just dust, I'm thinking a lot of it was from the fire, but this car was well taken care of. I think it was a detective's car instead of just a regular police car. Yep. In the truck we go. Long story short, it doesn't work. The Navigator flex plate bolts don't line up at all. So that transmission almost fell on me like 4 times. Kind of wish it did. Just crushed me right on my face, so that I don't have to do this anymore. But so yeah, that's about the end of that now. I'm O positive blood type, so if there's anyone out there needing organs, I'm pretty healthy, I don't smoke, so I don't know what they go for, but I want premium price because I need a lift and a transmission jack. So I've got all of them, So must have to be able to sell something and get a lift and insulation in here. So that being said, I don't know, comment below the price of and what can be sold. I don't know. That was a huge struggle. I mean, look at my face. I didn't even realize it was that dirty. My back's all disgusting too because I was laying in trash. Yeah, now I gotta find and see if someone makes a 8-bolt, because only GT 500s, Ford GT Navigators, and Cobras were 8-bolt. So I'm sure there's a 8-bolt flex plate out there. Everything else is 6 bolts. So I know that someone has to make one, but it's just more money and more time. So I'm gonna go look that up. Bye. All right, so I was just doing a search, and on the internet I found a flex plate that says 1996 to 2017 Mustang GT flex plate, 8-bolt. So I'm wondering if a Coyote flex plate will work, because I have one. Oh, I'm tripping. Oh, that's my water. Okay, well, I'm gonna look for that flex plate real quick, and we're gonna see if it works. Maybe I have it. Today's gonna turn around. Here is a stack of them. I don't know what they're to. That's an old school one. I think a small block Ford. Let's see. That's a flywheel. So those are all manual transmissions, and that's a small block Ford. Here is an engine. I'm gonna reach back and see if I can feel one. Jesus, I'm falling over. I can't see nothing. I don't think there's one there. That was out of a manual car anyway. All right, one more place to check. You know what? The Godzilla came with a flex plate. So, I mean, that's a 2022 engine, but I know I've got a flex plate from the 7.3. Chances if it works, I have no clue. Yikes, I'm gonna flip you guys around. There's a stack of stuff right there. Okay. These are all, there's something, 6-bolt. And let's see, I'm doing this one-handed. All right, I'm gonna pull that one in the blue out. All right, this is to a Coyote. This is to a Gen 2. How I came about getting this one is when I ordered a kit to run the Fairlanes Gen 2, this came with it. The thing from Late Model Restoration I ordered, control pack from Ford Performance. They threw this in, I didn't use it because I already had one. So, let's see if it works. Come here. Ow! Sounds like it had bolts. Why are you looking at me? Nope, didn't have bolts. Hey, you're blocking the camera, pup. Get out of here. Get out of here. Go do some dog stuff. Some dog stuff. She's going to go do dog stuff. All right. FOMO Co. This is to a Coyote. Now, if I do this wrong, it's gonna spill fluid. It's gurgling. Kind of like your mom last night. Oh my God, it's all over me. Fluid everywhere. Doesn't fit. Nope. That was karma for saying that your mom joke. Well, that was short-lived. So a 4.6 is completely Ford's modular Fords. This is what I read on the internet, that a 4.6 has the same exact piston as a 5.4 and the 6.8 V10. not just the diameter. This is what I read on the online at least. And when you go, it looks like 5.0 Coyote connecting rods are the same exact as a 4.6. Like you can use the connecting rod out of a Coyote in a 4.6. But yet the flex plates are different across every model. How is that possible? It doesn't make any sense. So, back to the drawing board. At least we know we've got this. And we now know not to order one. Because they're like $200 for some reason. I ended up ordering a flywheel flex plate from Late Model Restoration. And before I emailed it, I decided I was going to message their tech guys and ask if it would work on a Navigator. It listed cars that it would work on, basically any 4.6 with a 8-bolt crank. And I said, would this work on a Navigator? And they didn't know, so it's like, well, I guess I'm just buying it. So we're about to find out together. Got stickers, 2 stickers. Nice. It's better fit. They said if I install it, I cannot return it. But what's your definition of installing? Mine is it's sitting, being used with a transmission button. Okay. It's SFI approved 8-bolt pattern. But the biggest thing for anything is if it just fits on these bolts. Oh, it's so heavy. We just need these 4 bolts. It's leaking. This is how it'll go. What torque converter does this car have? They're all the same exact pattern. So this is the same exact flywheel that I've got. It's $130. What torque converter is this? It was just out of a 4.6. Well, that was like a week later. Put that back under there. This is why projects sit like this, because that was a week. So, well, here's that kind of stick. Alright, so what do they say? 4th time's the charm. 4th flex plate. This one is from Summit Racing, and it is a performance something, PQ, I can't, quotient, I don't know. But this company that makes this had 2 of them listed. They look identical and they actually used the same exact picture. Like, the only difference is this one was $100 cheaper than the other one. And this says SFI approved. Not that it matters, this is just a stock street car, but there was no information on this one. And this is actually cheaper than the other one I bought. So this is, I think, 3 weeks now. 2 or 3 weeks later. This is how working on cars is. In this video, it's going to be like I pulled the transmission, junked the car. That was 3 weeks. And I'm spilling fluid. I've done that every time. It's going everywhere. Okay, so there's clearly lots of holes in this one. Lots of holes. So that is extremely promising for me. One of these holes, just please. Okay. It looks like they're there, but it just needs drilled out slightly. I'll take that. I'll drill those babies out. But you can see this bolt pattern here. So it being multiple weeks later, I have no idea if I already told you this, but it turns out that Ford used 2 main torque converter bolt circles. A 10.5 inch bolt circle, which is used on like cars and stuff, and then an 11.5 inch bolt circle, which is found in heavier duty applications, and then looks like later adopted by the Coyote. So like a 5.4 would use the same torque converter bolt circle as a Coyote. So a 4.6 car engine is really the only one-off for this smaller size. But all right, I'm gonna drill these holes out, and you know what? I probably should make sure that this actually bolts up first, because with my luck, I drill this out, it doesn't bolt up, and then I can't return it. I'm not gonna record me going under there again. I don't even know if I had tried last time, but yeah. So if you've ever removed a flywheel or installed one, they always spin, flex plate or flywheel, they always spin, and it's super annoying. And I've never been able to find a bracket to hold a modular Ford. I just looked last week even, well, like 2 days ago, couldn't find one. And before I crawl under there, I decided I was just gonna make one. So I bolted a piece of 1-inch square tube here. This was a piece of leftover metal from cutting something. I put it behind this and then painted it red, and then used the cutoff wheel and cut everywhere that did not have paint on it. Or wait, yeah, that did not have paint. So these teeth blocked it, and then I just moved it down a little bit. So I'm about to weld it here, and then I can clean it up with a file or just keep using it like this. But that will make it so the flywheel or flex plate will not move during install. So I'm gonna weld it, pull it off, clean it, paint it red, bright red, so I never lose it. There it is in the sunlight, just as ugly as me. There it is installed on the engine under the car. You can see better kind of the teeth mesh. Yeah, I'm not that good, but that'll stop it. 8-bolt, and while we're under here, just check out this truck. I built that bracket there for the brakes. I mean, look at that. Independent rear end, reinforced chassis. This tube welds to all these frame braces that go across. Then it goes into its own thing back there. You can see how it hooks to the frame. Wham! And this truck's awesome. But enough of that. Let's get back to the engine swap. Ow, my head! Yeah, it's got a Crown Vic front end. But back to this. So if you don't know, these holes, you can see how it's closer together here than here. Flywheels and flex plates only go on one way. Even though you see a lot of holes, it is very specific. But we found it. I was getting nervous. It ended up being the very last hole. I tried, geez, I'm falling. I spun it the entire way. So if I would have just turned it left once, it would have went but I went all the way around. I was like, it doesn't fit, but it does. So now I'm gonna pull it off and drill those holes for the torque converter. Drill them out. Flex plate is installed. There it is, torqued to spec. Looks good. Now I'm gonna put the torque converter in, bolt the trans up. There it is, installed. I've got it sitting on a block of wood, and that is a cross member I made for a 6R80. So I actually could put a 6R80 in this and it would bolt right up, but we're just gonna probably just build a second one, since look how far away that gap is. 6R80's transmission mount versus a 4R70's. But I'm gonna crawl out from under this thing. Alright, so there's the video. That's that for the F100 for now. I did lose the torque converter nuts and the dipstick tube, which partially is due to my shop and the dysfunctionality of it and the length of time, because I think I started this like a month ago now, 3 weeks to a month. Just time working and the dirtiness of the shop. In the bright side, the truck now has a transmission, one more part for it, and the 5.4 32 valve tucked in it pretty nicely. And like I said, it's just the transmission just sitting on a block of wood, so it's not fully set up or anything yet. I did put glass in it in this episode. It's not glued or anything, but it's no longer just sitting on my floor where I can kick it. I was like, oh geez. And it would have all the glass, except I lost this piece of felt. I ordered this stuff here. All the weather stripping was ordered the last video of this truck, which, well, not the very last one, but the one before that was like 2020 or 2021. And in it I go, I'm about to order the weather stripping for this, and I did. And then I lost it. So, I mean, this truck is super close. It's just literally down to the minuscule stuff, just like this car. But I think I have ADHD because I get burnt out, man. Like, I spent 2 years restoring this car and working on other stuff at the same time. So if I had only just tunnel vision only on it, nothing else, I honestly could have done that probably in like 7-8 months. Granted, parts and stuff, but this truck, I bought it, so a little now, I'm dragging this on, but this is for you guys. So those of you that know, I bought this truck while I actually was in basic training. I was in basic training for the military, and my dad told me that this truck was for sale in Aledo. And the truck I was looking for right before I left for the Air Force was an F100. And couldn't believe it. It already had the Crown Vic front end and the independent rear end swapped onto it. And it was a single cab short bed. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, what? And you know, my bank account was shared with my dad because at the time, creating the bank account, I wasn't even an adult yet. So my dad was on my bank account, so he had access to my money, and now I was in basic training, so I had more money than ever because I used to be a dishwasher making $7 an hour. But now I had my pay while I was just trapped in a cell, basically. Not really a dorm, but so my dad went and bought me this truck with my money, but while I was in basic training. So when I went back home after tech school and several things, this truck was sitting there next to my Lightning. And that was like 7 years ago now. 7, 8 years. It was 2017. Getting ancient, guys. I'm about to have like a midlife crisis. But all right, enough of me rambling. Thanks for watching, guys, and stay tuned.